Welcome everyone to Every Woman Empowered's Chit Chat. And I'm your host, Shauna J. Cerniak, the founder of Every Woman Empowered. And alongside with me are my co-hosts,
Johnny Galarno, international artist and resident artist for Every Woman Empowered.
Mila Janu, certified laughter yoga instructor, founder of Let's Laugh Gig, and happiness ambassador for Every Woman Empowered.
And our special guest today is Wedad Amiri, and her company is called
Afflatus Hijab.
That's a mouthful. So tell us, Wedad, I gotta say, I'm very excited to hear about this company that you have. Tell us a little bit what it's about. We saw you on Instagram and just loved what you were doing.
Oh, thank you. Afflatus Hijab started in 2014, and it's really, I couldn't find any modest clothing to wear, so I decided to create my own clothing line for weddings and engagements. That's how it started. And I wanted a social platform to go along with it as well. So it is destigmatizing mental illnesses and empowering women. So we do name each piece after like a theme. We have a campaign for every line that comes out, and each piece is named after a woman.
Wow. So what are some names that we would hear for your pieces?
So like for example, there's a single moms campaign. So that my mom led that one. That one is named after Hala Asaf. Just did a teachers campaign right now. That's led by my sister, Wedad Amiri. We had the mental health campaign. There's Manal Asaf. We had a refugee campaign. We had an Indigenous campaign. What else did we have? I don't know why I'm drawing a blank, but there's been a bunch of different campaigns. So each piece will have a specific woman named after it, and you'll hear their story.
Wow, that is incredible and so empowering. Where did you come up with this idea?
I don't even really know, to be honest. It just like one day hit me. I think I was naming them after Muslim women, like when I first started. But then I got married and my husband's like, well, why do you only focus on just Muslim women? Why don't you focus on all women? I was like, that's actually smart. So the first campaign that was after like a different set of women, not just Muslim women, was an Indigenous campaign. So then I would just kind of get their stories offline, but now they're basically mostly from Alberta, and I can showcase those women and I try to get their stories, specifically ask them specific questions, get them to do a photo shoot. That's kind of how it started. I just wanted to change the narrative of how people saw Muslim women because the media wasn't doing a good job at it. So that's why I started naming the pieces after Muslim women and sharing their stories, because we're so much more than what Fox News, describes us as.
Exactly.
Oh, you know what? That nicely leads into the first question from us today. What do you think has been the biggest stigma that you face as a Muslim woman?
I would say people have a misconception of how we are. I think a lot of people think we are oppressed, we're not allowed to do a lot of things, like we have arranged marriages. And does that happen? Sure, but it happens in every community, every type of person. But I think a lot of people get so confused when they meet me. They're like, wait a second, I never thought, like, really, you're Muslim? That's how Muslim people behave? I'm like, guys, we're a population of 1 billion people. They're all going to be different. So I think the misconception is that we have no rights, we're oppressed. We don't do anything without our husbands or our dads. And I did a thing with Slice in December, and a lot of people comments were like, oh yeah, I'm sure her husband didn't let her do this. I'm sure her husband oppresses her and stuff like that. I was like, my husband's an artist. He's really chill. My family is like all teachers. We're okay. Nobody, and my mom's a single mom. So. Wow. I think that's the biggest misconception. They think, I guess, how they portray us in the media is how we are in real life. And it's not like that at all. And again, maybe in certain households, sure, but I would say it's like that and across the board in different cultures and communities.
Wow.
Oh, 100%. No, I love that, and I love your shirt that you're wearing. You're wearing this feminist shirt. I want one. I want for myself.
When they come back to stock, I'll let you know.
Awesome. So what does feminism mean to you, and how does it fit into your religion?
That's a good question. Feminism to me is just like, for me, it's just like basic. It's just equal rights for both men and women. I'm not like super extreme about everything. It's just having the ability to be paid the same amount of wage, having a seat at the table when you work in a male-dominated job, or if there's males in the room, regardless if it's like work, religion, or like sports, whatever it may be, just being able to have a voice and it not be shut down because you're a female. So that's where my perspective comes in with feminism. And I think a lot of people, again, don't think Muslim women have rights.
Right. Yeah,
But
exactly.
it's interesting because Muslim women had rights way before first wave, second wave, third wave feminism. Muslim women were allowed to own land, be business women. We were allowed to divorce. Education was key and like super important. Like we don't have to take our husband's last names because we're not their property. And we were able to vote. That was a long time ago. So this whole thing that feminism is a Western ideology, well, no, it's been part of the Muslim identity forever. And the first university in the world is built by 2 Muslim women in Fez, Morocco. So when I think about feminism, I don't think of it as this Western ideology that came and saved women. We were doing it a long time ago, but it just got coined this term feminism. But Islam gives women a lot of rights, and a lot of things you'll hear, like people will say, heaven lies under your mother's feet. Mothers and women are so important in Islam. And again, because of the media, we don't see that a lot.
Right.
You would have to talk to a Muslim to know that.
I think it's almost like the radicals, and when I say like radicals in any religion, you know, people focus on that. It's like if you're Catholic, they focus on the priests, you know, that have violated children. If you were a Mormon, it's about, you know, knocking on the doors, or is that, sorry, Mormon, I think it is, or
Jehovah's Witness.
Jehovah's Witness, sorry, thank you. It's all about knocking on the doors. Mormons is sometimes it's about, you know, multiple wives. So, you know, it's same like with the Muslims, with your Muslim religion, it's based on like, you know, women don't have a say. So it's almost like the radical of every religion, that kind of puts the negative out there, and instead you just don't get to see the real beauty of the spirituality that is there, you know. And I'm really glad that you're sharing with us today about it, because I want our viewers to understand and be aware and educated about it, and not let the media dictate on what they're intaking. I want us to be able to let the word out about what really it's about. So thank you so much for sharing about this.
No problem. I
It's
think
really important.
Yeah, I think it's important, and I think sometimes you tell them and they're like, well, no, in the Quran it says this, and they'll take an excerpt, like a passage from Google. If you don't read classical Arabic, you're not going to be able to translate it exactly how it means. When it comes out in English, it's quite different. So when somebody is telling you that this is how their religion is, or this is how they do things, I think the most important thing is to believe them.
Right.
Just so silly to say, but that's the problem.
You are the reflection of it. It's like I'm the reflection of my spirituality. And there is going to be the positive in it, and there's going to be the negative in it on all religions and spiritualities. But you really need to view it on the person themselves.
Of course.
Yeah.
I think that's the key point.
Absolutely. Oh, I really am so excited about your business, and I want to know a little bit more about that process. My question is, what has been the most difficult process having a business like yours that you've had to overcome?
Well, I don't have a business background. I have a Bachelor of Arts Degree in Sociology and Political Science. So that was probably the hardest thing. I just had the idea and I created it. I didn't really think about anything.
Yeah.
So I've been kind of going backwards and learning it all. And the other thing is, the hardest thing too is you are competing with so many different businesses too. There's so many modest businesses now in 2020, where when I started, there was barely any. Then you have big corporations like Nike, Adidas, Under Armour, creating things, or DKNY, Muslim apparel. So they'll have a Ramadan capsule, or they'll have sport hijabs, when there's already smaller businesses within that community that are doing that.
Right.
So it's been kind of a little bit hard to navigate that way and try to make a name for yourself. But, you know, it's trial and error.
Well, you are an Albertan and a Canadian. So for anybody across Canada and in Alberta, you should be the go-to business to go to. Shop local,
Absolutely.
right?
That's true. That's
Yes.
true.
Wedad, can you tell us a little bit more about the mental health awareness aspect of your business? How does that all sort of play out?
I know, it sounds also weird. So again, before I started Afflatus, I actually worked for the city of St. Albert, and I worked in all the schools in St. Albert giving presentations, and a lot of the presentations were geared around mental health, and like team building and all of that stuff. And what I realized is there was such a huge problem with the youth that I was dealing with mental health, and how I would connect them to different services and whatever, that I realized that my community is probably suffering in silence as well. So I decided to talk about it because it was so taboo compared to 2014 to now.
Right.
It's like a game changer. People are talking about it. They're posting stuff about it. I'm like, this is amazing. But when I started, it was very like, we don't talk about that. Like that doesn't happen to us. But there were so many people dealing with depression, anxiety, eating disorders, whatever it may be. So that's what I wanted to do. With every campaign too, there's an element of people struggling with their mental health, whether it was the single moms, Muslim women, refugees, teachers. They all deal with a certain aspect of their mental health. I'm not saying that everybody's like diagnosed with depression or anything, but I think mental health is such an important conversation to have, because everybody knows somebody who's dealing with some sort of mental health issue or problem, and how can we get them help? And it's okay to not be okay. And I wanted people from my community specifically, and other minority groups, to be able to go get that help without feeling embarrassed.
Incredible. And for such a young lady, like that is so good to see that you are bringing that awareness, and that as a millennium, I'm gathering that you're a millennium.
Millennial?
Yeah, I am. I think I fall under that category.
Not only are you business savvy, but also that you're bringing awareness and you're educating. And I think that is phenomenal. Good for you.
Thank you.
It's okay to not be okay. That's like the best mental health. You know, shout it from the rooftops. Everyone needs to hear that.
Exactly.
Yeah, sure.
So
especially now.
Yeah, well, and you know what, with COVID, I think that's, people are experiencing it if they haven't experienced it before, and you're going to have to, we've talked about, having living skills versus coping skills, and learning to break out of the depression and learn how to live again, and people aren't accustomed to that. So
yeah, 100%.
It's definitely a topic that needs to be discussed more and brought up more. So thank you for Wedad for doing that. That's huge. Yes, big love to you. So I have a question, and it's about the hijab. So
Sure.
tell us the significance behind the hijab. What does it mean? And why do Muslim women wear them?
So you do have to wear the hijab after puberty. But again, that doesn't mean everybody's wearing it after puberty. You know, some people may wear it when they're 50, some people may wear it when they're 5, some people may wear it when they're 20. I put my hijab on at 9 years old. And to give you kind of some like background, my mom put it on at 28.
Wow.
But we put it on together.
Oh,
I kind of was like, Mom, I'm gonna put it on. She's like, why? I'm like, I'm gonna put it on. She's like, well, why don't you do some research on it? And on your 9th birthday, if you still want to wear it, then you can wear it. So for 6 months, I had to ask all the questions, do all the reading. And mind you, my mom had just got recently divorced, so I think she wanted to look her best self, like she's herself. She's like, are you sure you want to wear it? I'm like, yeah, totally. So she wore it with me on my birthday. That was when I was 9. And so really the ultimate reason you wear it is it's like an act of worship for God. And then you'll hear people say it's a form of modesty. And also privacy from unrelated men as well. So, and for yourself, how you want your body to be viewed and treated. And it doesn't mean if you're not wearing the scarf or wearing less clothes, you don't respect your body.
Right.
But everybody interprets it a bit different. But it is for modesty, privacy, and an act of worship towards God.
And it's a choice, is it not? It's not, I've heard that it's a choice and not that you have to.
No, you have to wear the hijab. It is mandatory after puberty, but you can't force someone to wear the hijab. Does that make sense?
Right.
You have
So
to do
your
it.
mother chose not to?
No, after puberty, no, yeah, my mom didn't wear it.
Right.
But again, I would say maybe pre 9/11, I would say not tons of people wore the hijab in the Edmonton area.
Right.
So you'd see a lot of older people wearing the hijab, not that younger people didn't. But yeah, she wore it after, like at 28.
Mm-hmm.
And same with my aunts. They wore it later. Yeah, I was the only one that wore it. I don't know.
I guess basically it's like if they're not wearing it, and again, it's not a disrespect. It's just a choice, right?
Yeah. How do I explain? You have to wear it, but you have a choice of when you want to wear it, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, you can't force somebody to do anything.
Right. Exactly.
That would be.
You can bring the horse to water, but you can't make that horse drink it. So there you go.
Exactly.
And have you dealt with racism because of it? I mean, you're from Edmonton here.
Yeah.
Is there a lot of racism because of it? And especially, I think, especially in this last year, there's been, so much going on. How has it affected you as a Muslim woman?
I feel like everybody's copying us now with the masks. Like,
we were there first.
What are you doing with your life? And this is the big problem in Quebec. We can't cover our faces. So first of all, kind of annoyed by that. No, I'm kidding. That was the only problem. Yes, of course. This is my thing. I love Edmonton. I think it's a city full of really nice people and understanding people. But a lot of people like to say, like, at least we're not the US, but Canada is still quite racist. After 9/11, I got a lot of racist comments. I was in grade 7. So that was cool. That was fun. That's what therapy's for. No, I'm just kidding. There was a lot of
deal with it. How did you?
I was confused because that day I went to school. I remember hearing it on the radio, and I went to school, and my social teachers were like, whatever religion or culture, whoever's responsible for it, we can't treat our students different or your classmates different. I was like, what is she talking about? Because I've never been through anything like that. I've never heard of anything like that on the news. I was like, do. And then it all came out like, oh, it was Osama bin Laden. I was like, okay, cool, like whatever. That has nothing to do with me. Like, whatever. I just want to go camping. And then I remember it happened, and the next day, this older lady in our neighborhood came to the corner across from my house and was like, I was like, what's wrong with this lady? Why is she so mad? And my mom's like, get in the car. I'm like, okay, whatever. Walking home from school, and these young boys in a car, they were like, go back to your country. We don't want you here. I was like, oh my God, how do I tell them I was born in Calgary? I don't know how to break it to them, but it was hard. And then I think, we were so nervous to make anybody upset. I know a lot of Muslims felt like we just kind of wanted to be invisible, but at the same time, you saw a lot of people putting on the hijab and really learning more about their religion and embracing it. And I remember going to the airport, and I was like, I just don't want to be selected, but always am selected. But now I just don't have, I guess, the patience for that. So I'll ask, why am I randomly selected? Oh, well, I'm like, that doesn't make sense. And they're like, well, and they get nervous because they've been making us feel nervous for years, and I'm over it. Whereas before, I just wanted to be invisible, and people making comments and just saying, why do you wear that? Who cares why I wear it? There's a way to ask. So I won't tolerate or answer that because it's just a waste of my time. And I don't like when people give backhanded compliments either. Like, I guess my cousin was wearing the shirt, and somebody was like, oh, it's so nice that your type of people are wearing shirts like that. And it's like, you still don't get it. That's not a compliment. You're insulting me. So although they're trying to be open, but they're not. So if you have a genuine question, I'm down to answer. But there is certain times that I've gotten racist comments, but yeah, I think the one time I was really scared, actually, and this was recent, of being like a visible Muslim, was the shootings in the mosque in Christchurch in New Zealand.
Yes.
I think like my husband was like, don't go out by yourself, make sure I'm always with you, carry something with you just in case. And that was probably the only time, even more than 9/11, that I was actually scared that somebody was going to do something.
That's terrifying. Like I recognize that as my white privilege, that's something that I've never had to deal with, and I don't even know what to say.
It's okay. Just
what can you say? All like, all we can do again is try to, like you're doing, make a difference and bring that awareness. And I think that's what's truly important. I am an Indigenous woman, and I feel that the more that we can bring awareness and talk and let people ask questions, that's when people start to understand. There's just too much crap out there that leads them into another direction. And if people have questions, I don't mind them asking me. And just like we are doing with you today, Wedad, we're asking genuine questions. It's because we want to be educated, we want to be informed, and we don't want to be ignorant, like in all aspects, not just what we say, but in being ignorant and not being educated and learning.
Yeah. The veil is coming off.
Right.
Oh, I was like, what? I'm like, no, I'm keeping
the veil of ignorance.
Yes. Sorry, I'm like, what? Did I say that?
I'm a visual person, sorry.
Yes, the veil, that veil, for sure.
Yes.
For sure, yes.
Your veil's today, not.
Yes, I got a pin on.
So your clothing line is representing great things for those who want the modest wear. And as well, you're bringing out feminism, and you're bringing out awareness to so many different causes. I have to say I'm amazed by it, and I am just for such a young woman to come up with all these ingenious ideas and have it all in one. Kudos to you. I have to say, good for you. And I want to know, how can people find you? How can people buy your clothing? Tell us where we can find you.
So you can find me on social media, Afflatus Hijab, but I do have a website, and it's www.afflatushijab.com. And
Can you say it a little slower for the people like me?
Afflatus.com. So Afflatushijab.com. And I get a lot of questions from non-Muslims like, are we allowed to wear your clothes? And yeah, of course, anybody's allowed to wear any of it.
And so it's not cultural inappropriation, or if I said that right, I can't. Cultural
appropriation.
Thank
You're close.
She's my translator. If someone wore a hijab.
So I wouldn't wear it on your head for fashion if that's why you're buying it. So probably wouldn't do that. But the hijab also, they're just scarves, right? So you can get the same ones that you'd get in the mall. Muslim women buy those too to wear around their head. So a lot of my non-Muslim customers, or my Muslim customers who don't wear hijab, they'll buy the hijab and they'll put it around their neck, or whatever they want to do with it. I had one of my best friends is a photographer. She's like, hey, can I take some hijabs for some newborn pictures? I was like, yeah, I don't really care. Do whatever you want. I don't really care as long as I get your money, right? No, I'm kidding. That's where the Northside Hustle comes from.
Support logo.
But yeah, so no. And everything is dresses or casual wear. This is the only thing that has words on it. I don't think it's called.
And do you do like grad clothing? Like there's a lot of young ladies grad or wedding dresses?
No, because when I first started, I don't do anything custom. So it's whatever I design is what I make in bulk, and whoever wants to buy can buy. So my pieces for weddings, because I'm Lebanese, Lebanese, Palestinian, whatever it may be, when we have a wedding, we dress up pretty fancy, especially if you're related to the person getting married. So my stuff, when people are buying them for weddings and engagements, it's for people that are invited to the wedding but are not close family members. So, and you don't want to spend like $400 or like $800, right?
Right.
So when I first started, there's somebody in my community who sells the expensive dresses, the designer dresses. There's another lady who custom makes dresses. And then there was me. I don't like duplicating services. So if there was one that already existed, if there was an Afflatus Hijab that already existed before me, I probably wouldn't have created Afflatus Hijab because it wouldn't have made sense because it already exists.
Smart.
Where me, I don't like to duplicate services. If there is something like that in the community, I don't like to take away from it. So they're all women doing great things, and everybody, will have a certain type of customer going to them. So that's why I don't do anything crazy fancy. They're for people that want to attend a wedding and look great, but not have to pay $400 to $1,000. They're paying $100, maybe $150 max.
Very reasonable prices, like very reasonable. And I love some of those designs are just phenomenal. So I was perusing on your website, and there's some great outfits. And I guess a question I have for you is sizes. Now you're a tiny woman. Do you also cater to the larger, more voluptuous sizes?
Well, honey, I do. So a lot of the pieces, I know I have to do a better job with having different body types in my.
Anna's volunteering. Anna's volunteering to be a model.
I would love that. You're hired.
Let me get my girdle.
Honestly, I make a lot of the pieces, they're all kind of oversized. So they fit a lot of different body types, but people don't think it fits a lot of different body types. the casual clothing fits a lot of different body types. The dresses, still working on it. I know I get a lot of flack of people wanting plus sizing, but they do fit still a lot of different body types.
Right.
But I will, that is my hope to do that in the future. But no, the stuff does fit many body types, especially like the hoodies, the cardigans, the shirts. The dresses are a little bit more form-fitting, but
Right.
yeah, I don't know where I'm going with this, but
You've been inspired by some fashion weeks and things. You've gone around the world and traveled and got to see different fashion spaces and events. What's been the most inspirational place you've been to and why?
like country-wise?
Well, yeah,
No, or
country,
yeah, that
city.
makes
Yeah.
sense. Wow, I just had a moment.
Or a
Honestly-
line.
Or what, sorry?
Or a line of clothing.
This is what I'll say. The 3 places that I've been to these countries had really amazing fashion was in the Middle East, so Lebanon, Jordan. They have some of the most amazing designers come out of Lebanon, like Elie Saab, Zuhair Murad. They do all of the crazy designs for all the celebrities, and random, but Vietnam.
Oh,
Ho Chi Minh, yeah, or Saigon, whatever.
yeah.
They had some of the most beautiful fashion I've ever seen, some of the most intricate pieces of dresses, and yeah, it was just, I was so stunned, and it was so expensive. But yeah, I would say Middle East, Asia, Europe, anywhere but North America, to be honest.
Yeah, we're kind of
Wow.
trapped.
Like, I feel like we're so behind. Like, when you go, there's so much more ahead than Canada or the US.
Right.
It's true.
Do we have any last questions for Wedad?
I do.
Okay.
Okay. This is probably a silly question, but I'm going to ask anyways. If you only had one color that you could wear, and it's not black or white, what would it be and why? Why would you choose that color?
Probably navy blue. I just like that you compare navy blue with a lot of different other colors. Oh, but I can't pair it up with other colors. It's only one color, right? I like navy blue. I think it's a very dominant, confident color. I like it. But I know not everybody likes navy blue.
I like
navy.
I do. I'm a fan of navy
That's
blue.
all that
Almost black.
Yeah.
I feel like black.
More on the black. There was a reason that I took out that it couldn't be black or white, because I know probably most of us would automatically say, well, black,
Yeah.
right? We'd probably all wear black.
My
I
clothes
actually
are black.
don't like wearing black. Aside from this shirt, like I said, I like wearing color actually.
Wow,
But
so-
navy blue is close to black. Oh man, where do I go from
Me
here?
too. I don't love wearing black, but I would choose it over white. Anytime I wear white, I spill something on myself. It's like, when was I eating spaghetti?
Yeah, 100%.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much, Wedad, for being a part of our show today, and for also educating us and informing us about your religion and about hijabs. I really appreciate it, and I wish you and your business the ultimate success. And for those who are watching, remember to always shop local and support your city, your province, your country first, especially during times like this. So thank you, Wedad. Have a beautiful one. And thank you for being a part of Every Woman Empowered's Chick Chit Chat. Oh, wait, before we end, Wedad, can you say Chick Chit Chat 3 times real fast?
Chit, chit, chat, chick, cho, chua. Chat, cho, no?
Chick Chit Chat.
Chick, chick, chat.
3 times.
Chick, chat, chick, chat. God, I'm struggling.
Oh,
Chit, chat, show. I'm singing an Arabic song at this point. It's a belly dancing song, like chick, shack, show. I'm gonna say it's not really gonna happen.
Not happening today.
No.
The 3 C's. There you go. Chick, chit, chat. Well, thank you so much, Wedad, and thank you for
Thank you guys.
playing along
Thank
with us and
you.
trying to say our famous show of Chick, chit, chat. So you have a beautiful one, and thank you so much for being on the show today. Take
Thank you,
care.
guys.
Bye.
Pleasure.
Thank you so
Bye.